Hi everyone, welcome to Google Cloud Onboard Modern Architecture Series on Air, Google Cloud's new online digital training series. I'm Jay Jenkins, tech strategist and evangelist for the Google Cloud Asia Pacific, based here in Singapore. I'll be your host over the next 3 days to bring the Google Cloud community together for 3 consecutive days of live, online, interactive learning and hands-on labs. And to kick things off, today's training session is all about migrating from on-premises environments or other cloud platforms to Google Cloud. Tomorrow, we explore architecting with Google Kubernetes Engine, or GKE, with a deep dive into containers exploring the possibilities of Google Kubernetes Engine. Finally, on Thursday, we'll talk about hybrid architecture with Anthos. You'll learn how Anthos can enable you to modernize your existing applications, build new ones, and run them anywhere in a secure manner. We have practitioners and developers from all over the Asia-Pacific region joining us today. In fact, we have an audience from Australia, New Zealand, Southeast Asia, India, North Asia, here in Singapore, and we'll have people joining us from EMEA and North America. We hope you'll all find these sessions helpful, educational, and informative. We want these sessions to be helpful and a good use of your time to devote to your learning. Let me introduce your GCP experts and instructors for today's training. Vishal Nigam, cloud architect with our training partner Fastlane, is an experienced corporate trainer having more than 10 years of experience in various technologies and has delivered over 3,000 corporate training sessions. Joining Vishal today to take you through a number of demos is David Thiessen and Christina Rumpf. David is a customer engineer at Google Cloud Australia, helping financial services industry customers in Australia to digitize and innovate their services to thrive in a cloud-first world. Christina Rumpf, partner engineer for Google Cloud, will run you through several demos on how to build hierarchy folders and projects, a virtual machine, and a virtual network. Christina has been in the IT industry for 20 years, has a passion for data analytics, and has worked with companies across the public sector, finance, retail, and utilities industries. You're in very good hands. Today's curriculum includes a number of sessions and demos, all dedicated to teach you how to migrate to Google Cloud. At the end of each of these sessions, we'll have some pop questions for you all to answer, and I'll share the results in real time, once during the scheduled break, and then again in the session wrap-up. Stay tuned and look out for those questions toward the end of each session. You'll see each session on your screen, and of course, you can use the menu at the side to take a look at your day and help plan it. Later in the day, we have a very cool session on how you can get involved with Cloud Hero, our interactive online challenge where you can gain hands-on experience, practice your skills, and compete against peers. The Migrating Virtual Machines game will be open from today and available to play until the 22nd of September. Bookmark the game using the link shown and use the access code shown to begin playing. Later on, we'll show you how it works. Great. For those of you who've just joined, I'm Jay Jenkins, tech strategist and evangelist for the Google Cloud Asia Pacific, coming to you live from Singapore. I'll be your host over the next 3 days. And now for our special guest joining me live from Australia. We are very pleased to have Jim O'Hara, practice lead for infrastructure modernization at Google. Jim is going to share some insights and learnings from helping many of Google Cloud's customers realize the benefits of modernizing their infrastructure. Jim leads a community of specialists across APAC who are focused on removing infrastructure toil from customer environments. Prior to joining Google, Jim spent more than 20 years tinkering with every kind of infrastructure you can imagine, from thin clients to supercomputers, and worked in industries as varied as defense, telco, banking, and airlines. Welcome, Jim. Great to have you with us.
Hi, Jay. It's great to be here. Thanks for having me.
So in your introduction, you mentioned removing customers' toil from their infrastructure. How does infrastructure services help with that?
Yeah, it's a good question, and it's a very descriptive word, toil, I think, and it really describes the effort, the expenditure in time and money that customers have to do to run infrastructure today. There's the management of premises to host the infrastructure, power, cooling, racking, cabling, all of those kind of things that really are not a differentiator for any business. It's not something that a business can do quicker, faster, or more efficient than their competitors. And so what we're seeing is that modernizing infrastructure and finding new ways to do infrastructure that don't rely on having to undertake that level of toil is what customers are really looking for.
Right. So one of the things I've read is that 75% of applications remain on premises. So what do you think customers are missing? What is keeping them stuck on premise?
Yeah, it's a really good point. And I think that probably the right answer to that question is that as vendors, we've done a very good job of telling customers about the end game. What are the services and capabilities that exist in cloud that they can leverage? But what we haven't done is we haven't really done a very good job of explaining to them the how component of the journey. How to actually get to cloud. How do you get started even? What are the first steps that you should take in assessing your environment for cloud readiness? And then how would you use the outputs from something like that in planning a migration, and also then thinking about the skills and capabilities that your organization needs to acquire to do something like that. So I think you're going to hear a lot of that kind of content today. It's going to be about how can we help you get started in building that foundation for your cloud, and making it very practical, as opposed to like a vision of where the end is. It's very much today about how do we help you get started and how can we help you along that journey of getting to cloud.
Right, and that's also probably one of the reasons why 96% of CIOs haven't gotten the benefits out of cloud that they've expected. So what can we do to help? How can we help customers on this journey?
Yeah, it's kind of a scary statistic, really. It's very high, and I think that that there's probably a lot of different reasons there. But one of the key, I think, influencers on that result is that we've tended to start with a kind of a lift and shift approach to cloud. Taking what you have today and simply moving it to cloud. And look, there's certainly value to be had out of that, but it's not transformational for your business. And so I think what we, again, we'll hear a lot today in the content, but what we at Google Cloud want to help you do is really understand much more about your environment and the options for taking you to cloud. And so, we can come in and help with things like assessing your environment and planning what the migration paths look like for different workloads, because they won't all be the same. It's certainly not a one size fits all. And I think that by doing so, and then also incorporating in that plan thoughts of how you organize your structure, your people, your processes, and make sure that your people have the right skills to take advantage of what is essentially a different way of doing infrastructure, is absolutely key to getting value out of it, Jay.
All right, great. So, as a practitioner, right, and a lot of people are here to learn, obviously, not just about how to assess their environments, but how to actually, work with the platform. As a practitioner, what should I be focusing on moving forward?
Yeah, it's a good question, and I think my answer to that is born out of my own experience. I've been doing infrastructure, as you said, for a very long time, and I think that really the key here is to think about simplification and standardization, because those two things lead to automation. And so I think by starting to look at your environment and consider ways in which you can, at an infrastructure level, apply a more simplified and standardized model for the building blocks of your infrastructure, applying high degrees of automation, that kind of mindset, that repeatability of infrastructure componentry really drives a change in the way that you can deliver infrastructure services to your business. And so I think that the practitioners on the call today are going to get a lot of really hands-on practical advice about how to do that best with Google Cloud. And I would just add on the back of that for those who want to take their learning beyond what's available today, that the GCP Cloud Architect certification is hugely valuable. We're seeing now that I think it's actually the #1 most valuable certification in the industry. And so, I think that acquiring some of those modern skills, thinking in a different way about how to standardize and automate your infrastructure, and hopefully take some learnings out of today as well from our trainers, will put people in a very good position to help their companies really deliver infrastructure that makes a difference to their business.
Fantastic. Well, Jim, thank you so much for joining us this morning, and thank you so much for your time.
Thanks very much, Jay, and hope everybody enjoys the training today.
Fantastic. In just a moment, our live Q&A will open so you can join the conversation and get answers to your questions. Now's a great time to share how you can submit a question. Let's take a moment to walk through this digital event platform. So as you can see, by clicking on the Home tab on the navigation bar located at the top of the page, you can view the full schedule of today's event with complete details, including titles, start times, speaker details, so you can plan your day. You can click the Watch Live link at any time to jump back into the current session. To ask a question, you'll see just below the video screen a blue button marked Ask Your Question Here. Click on the button and enter your questions here at any time during the event, and we'll do our very best to answer them. And here's the cool thing. Anyone in the community can reply to your questions, answer them, or like them as well. Feel free to jump into the conversation and even answer other people's questions. You can also take part in the global conversation on Twitter with the hashtag Google Cloud Onboard. All the sessions you'll see today from locations right around APAC have been pre-recorded at home by our presenters to reduce the risk of interruptions. However, I'm coming to you live from my living room today. During today's program, if there are any glitches to the live component, please rest assured that our moderators are also live and ready to answer your questions, and all presentations will be available on demand at the conclusion of the 3-day series. Don't miss the Cloud Hero Challenge and take part in an exciting online game to complete a series of cloud-based tasks to practice your skills with other developers. The challenge opens today and is available until the 22nd of September. You'll find the link to the game and the access code in the FAQ tab at the top of the page and in the email reminder you received yesterday and earlier this morning. Now it's time to get into the day's training. And for those of you just joining us, don't forget to participate in the Q&A online. We have Google Cloud customer engineers waiting online to answer your questions. First up is Google Cloud Platform and assessing the source environment for an overview of the Google Cloud Platform, including some basics of cloud computing and how you can use it to modernize applications. Over to Vishal. Enjoy the training and see you back here in the break to check out how you all did in the quiz.